recliner chairs from Willowbrook. Sponsors everyday favourites.
Welcome to the show. I'm David Dickinson, the Duke. And this, of course, is the real deal. Today we're flying high. We're at RAF Cosford in Shropshire. It's going to be a fantastic day.
Buckle up. There might be some unexpected turbulence.
Whoops! Idiot-dying.
Got a bit of a fear that David might call me mean.
In case of emergency.
I'm overheating.
It's not mega valuable, I'm afraid.
£600.
Oh, it's absolutely gobsmacked.
That's not all right, eh?
You gotta try your luck. You gotta try.
Let's try, yeah.
You can go to auction.
We're going to beat that.
At 800 bit.
What? What?
Thank you for choosing Real Deal Airlines.
Bye-bye. Let's get it on. Let's do the real deal.
Plenty of passengers are already queuing at the museum terminal. Bags are being checked. Our stewards are on standby to help. And with the captain here...
Morning, Commanders.
The Real Deal flight is ready for boarding. And Ken's first aboard with a very appropriate item.
I'm boarding a handheld from the Graf Zeppelin LZ-127. We're in the right place to sell it today.
We are. All we need now is a dealer who's passionate about aviation.
Quite a few in here I recognise. It's so wonderful to see them preserved here in such lovely condition.
Mark Stevens it is.
Lovely to meet you. I said I would love some aviation things. And guess what? I've got something that I've never seen before. I love it.
But will Mark love Ken's price tag?
I'm looking for £150. I think that's a good value for a historic artefact like that.
Thank you very much for bringing in this very, very nice and unusual thing. I've never seen one before. Correct me if I'm wrong here. It's a handheld that was used on the Graf Zeppelin, which was a commercial airship from about 1928 to 1935. Is that correct?
That's correct. I think he did 590 commercial flights.
Okay.
Mainly across to South America from Germany. And he did various exhibitions and local travels as well across Europe.
What is the history? How did you come by it?
It's been passed through the family, and I think it was from my great aunt who lived in Peru and travelled backward and forward a bit. And I can only think that's where it's appeared in the family from.
So do you think she was possibly a passenger on the airship?
It's possible. I can't see a passenger manifest anywhere to find out whether she actually travelled.
You've kept it immaculate. I've got all credit to you.
In fact, 90 years old to keep a towel, yes, it'd be unusual.
Yeah. I mean, where have you kept it? Is it anywhere particular?
It's been in a drawer and I've had it for about 50 years.
I take it this is the number?
That's the LZ-127, which is the number of the airship.
Yep. It must have been quite a luxurious air flight.
I think it was quite expensive.
Yes. I think, should we say, a certain few were privileged to be able to fly.
I think they had 36 crew on board and 24 passengers on a flight.
Oh, God. Great thing. I mean, really nice thing. Very, very unusual. Why do you want to sell it now?
It seems a shame to have it locked in a drawer for so long and not being on display, and it is a bit big to put in a frame to have it in the house, you know. So I'm certainly not going to be drying my hands on it.
No, most definitely. Not, no.
I think it really needs to be somewhere that can
And
show it off properly.
what will you do with the money?
I think it's a case of taking the family out for a meal.
Okay, yeah, I like that. It's always a good evening out, isn't it, with the family having a nice meal.
That's it.
I didn't know McDonald's, have they got many around here? The only thing left to do now is to put some money on the table. Here we go. So, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, £160.
That seems a good deal to me. That's excellent.
But we need to take some advice from David. He's going to tell us what he thinks about it.
Okay, well, I'm fascinated with it. My only thoughts, and I've said this to my independent valuers, are we to believe that this was on board the Graf Zeppelin? Because if it was, I think it must be a rarity. It must be highly collectible, and there can't be many. To be honest with you, the quality of it would indicate it probably was. They say 1 to 150. You put 160 down, I would say that's a good offer. I think it's a cheap item for what it is, if it's the real thing. I should say if it's the real deal.
So, we've heard from the boss. You know, I didn't actually think, when I first saw it, that it could have been maybe a commemorative piece. It didn't come into my mind. Did it come into yours at all?
No, I'm sure it's an original.
Yeah, and I think it is. And it's something that I would probably keep, because I like this type of memorabilia, and it is a wonderful thing. And you've got 160 on the table. Do we have a deal?
We've had a deal, yes.
Thank you very much indeed.
£10 more than you wanted. That's not bad, Ken.
Yeah, I'm pleased it's going to the right place. I think we did a good deal there.
Mark thinks so.
Great deal. Very easy, straight in, over the top estimate, because I wanted it and I bought it.
That's a real deal.
Have a great meal on me.
Maybe it's the altitude here at the RAF Museum, but Simon Schneider appears to have cabin fever.
I'll be shipwrecked now. I'll be Captain Shipwrecked of the Texing,
What are you on about?
bringing that waste treasure from the bottom of the ocean.
Maybe Seller Jill can enlighten us.
I bought some Chinese pottery. Apparently it's from the wreckage of the Texing ship.
Captain Simon, anything to say for yourself?
Was it worth doing all that diving? Well, I've got a bit of a sinking feeling about this one.
Jill's not. She's looking for a buoyant offer for her booty.
Hopefully between £300 and £400.
You brought in a selection of Oriental ceramics that I believe have a connection to a shipwreck. Would you like to tell me a little bit more about them?
Well, all I know is they were salvaged, I think, in round about the 1999, I think, from the wreck of the Texing, which I think probably sank in the 1800s. Other than that, I know nothing else.
And how did they come into your possession?
I inherited them from my sister earlier this year.
Right.
I think she probably bought it purely as an investment, I think.
I had a brief look at some of the invoices, because you have got most of the invoices
Yeah.
of the purchases with you. And they date over about a 3 or 4 year period. There are several companies like this that sell things over a period of time. They would have sold the contents of this particular wreck. They'd have done a deal with the people that salvaged it, and they sold it more or less to appeal to people as an investment. Whether or not it is an investment is another story.
Yes.
Whether or not it's a good investment, they are exactly what they described them as. They're the contents of a cargo ship that was leaving China for Java, I believe, when it was sunk. the Chinese ceramic industry around that time were prolific, exporting all over the world Chinese ceramics. But this particular type, I think it's called the lotus pattern. Probably the nicest bit is this big dish here. Quite a bit of wear on the centre of that, where obviously there's been a cylindrical pot or something placed on that, which is, can you see what I mean? It's made a mark on it. Then you've got several other bowls. They're pretty much all that lotus pattern. Anyway, if we managed to have a deal today, have you any idea what you do with any money you receive for the items?
Yes, I think I'd like to buy something that I can put in the garden, a sculpture or something that I can remember my sister by.
That's a nice thing to do, isn't it? So you can turn it into something else.
Yeah, that means something to me, which this doesn't. So.
No, I do understand that. Well, I'd like to put some money down. I'm not quite sure how much it's going to tempt you, but I'm going to have a go. So let me put some money down.
We'll see how far we go.
Exactly. That's £100, 150, £200.
No.
I don't personally want to invest any more than that in these items, because I don't feel, if I'm being perfectly frank, that there's any profit left in it.
Would you be able to put, say, another 20 on the table?
I honestly think that's a really strong offer. I mean, you could go to auction and you could do better, but you might not.
I think I'd like to accept your offer, please.
Thank you very much indeed for taking the money. And I hope you buy your sister a really nice memorial, something you can enjoy looking at, that will remind you of your sister,
I'm
and
sure
give
I
you a bit
will.
more pleasure than that old broken